I used to think I needed to do more to see results, but this week I'm focused on doing better. We're heading into another week with our weight loss circuit program. I know I've been away for a while, but I'm back and we're now headed into week 6 and 7. It's time to level up the right way. So let's talk about progression and how I'm building strength without burnout. So within the past couple weeks, I didn't add more workouts. I made my movements more intentional. So instead of like chasing exhaustion, I focused on execution. So one of my swaps I made this week was my single leg RDLs. I would go down into the movement, which is an eccentric movement, for 3 seconds, and then I will hold at the bottom for 1 second before I came back up. It may not look intense, but it did build real strength. I felt it in my quads and my hamstrings, especially where when I wasn't moving with intention, I didn't really feel the movement. And I feel like that's how you would know if you're doing good or even if there's progression in the future, especially if you're just doing it that same way and not feeling it intentionally. So the pause at the bottom of my movement, it gives the glutes a chance to feel engaged, right? It also challenges my balance and also teaches my body how to actually control the movement before I decide to go up in weight. You don't want to find yourself like rushing through the movement at all as well. And to be honest, progress isn't always about adding reps or weight. Sometimes it's slowing down, staying present. So, what is progression? It's the intentional way we make our workouts more challenging. For example, if I were to progress after 2 weeks, I look to progress in weight 10% of what I was already lifting, or increasing your reps or sets, 3 sets of 10 to 3 sets of 12, or slowing down the tempo to make it a little bit harder, like we did in our single leg RDLs. Also, adding a pause or hold. What I like to do to make my squats a little bit more challenging after 2 weeks, instead of progressing in weight, on that last rep, I will hold at the bottom for about 20 seconds to 30 seconds, and then I will come back up. And that tends to trigger my glutes and quads a little bit more. I definitely feel it the next day, but it is definitely more challenging. Also shortening your rest periods from 60 seconds to maybe 20 seconds. Like if I were to do my jump rope circuit here, I was jumping for 1 minute and then I would hold for 30 seconds. But as I progressed through my training, now I'm jumping for 1 minute and then resting for 15 seconds. That's a good example of progression, more toward like cardio. Also, upgrading your form from assisted to unassisted, and then switching variations as well from bilateral movements to single leg movements or unilateral movements. Ooh. So, why progression matters is your body adapts quickly. If you keep doing the exact same thing, your results will plateau. And that's what I was noticing because I wasn't intentional about my workouts. Me doing the same weight or the same workouts back to back every day, every week, I felt like I was at a plateau, which leads to not really being motivated to even go to the gym and work out. Progression is how we push past plateaus without burning out or breaking down. Why? Another reason why progression matters is because you'll find that you won't actually lead to burnout. Burnout in weight loss programs is real when people try to overtrain instead of train smarter. It's not about changing the whole routine, it's about pushing your body with what it already knows, just a little bit more. That's a little tip for you. It's how I kind of think about progression now. I don't see it as like this assignment or this big deal. I just look at it as like, let's just push myself just a little bit more. So now it's more intentional. So even when I built my current program, I based it off of my circuit program where I'm pushing myself just a little bit more. Girl, what you doing? So what workout felt stronger this week for you? I'll also answer this question. One workout that felt stronger for me was, I've been away for a little while, but I did snap back into reality and started progressing. And I found that I went from pushing 20 pounds in the overhead press or incline bench press to now I'm doing incline dumbbell overhead press with 30-pound dumbbells, which is a major accomplishment just because for me, I find that I'll be intentional with my lower body movements, but not intentional with my upper body movements. And if you're looking for a certain physique or that hourglass figure, you have to be intentional with both. You want to create the illusion of a smaller waist. It's just not about, gaining a big butt. So I had to be more intentional with my progression when it came to my upper body movements. And I did really well with that. Like I said, I always try to progress every 2 weeks, 10% of what I was already lifting. And it's slow and steady. And I felt like I accomplished that without really feeling overtrained or having any tweaks in my back. It also is best to up your protein if you feel like you want to gain strength. Be intentional with the amount of protein you eat. Also resting well. And what's my fight? Working on your form. I feel like when you're not focusing on form, you tend to have more injuries. So there's a lot of warm ups I do that are intentional when it comes to doing my upper body movements. So, what do I feel like my biggest improvement overall? And this is based off of just life in general, my endurance and stamina. I feel like adding jumping rope into my workout programs twice a week and then also jumping rope on a weekend. I feel like I've gained more stamina and endurance throughout my week. I don't feel as tired as I normally would after a day of work. I feel like doing regular activities like watching my nieces, playing with them, going for walks. I feel like I can last longer doing those activities. I can play longer with my nieces. I can clean around the house without feeling tired. I can move big boxes, but I think that's all due to just working on my cardiovascular system, jumping rope, building stamina. I'm just doing a lot more movement than I would normally do. And it shows. 3 weeks ago, I was still feeling out of breath after jumping rope. Now it feels like part of my rhythm. I feel stronger because I'm more consistent. So, what I want you to try this week is jump rope for about 10 minutes, 1 minute on, 30 seconds off. If you feel like you're a beginner to jumping a rope, how about doing 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off for 5 minutes? And you can do this as a warm up to your original workout, or do it as a finisher after your workout, or just do it after you get out of the work, right? Do it as a little activity and just for 5 to 10 minutes and see how you feel. Give yourself the week, right? Be consistent with it for a week and notice the change in confidence and stamina and endurance. Try it out. If you've been following along this long, try swapping out one move for a harder version, or try holding a position longer. You don't have to go harder, just go deeper. Like that single leg RDL, I added a 3-second eccentric move and 1 second hold. All right, guys, I hope you liked this video. It wasn't geared directly toward weight loss, but it's more about progressing in the gym and how being intentional about it can help you lead to weight loss. Okay, definitely had a few struggles within the past couple weeks, and I plan on making more videos, but I wanted to be honest and true and authentic because I want to help change your mindset to create better habits, make life just a little bit easier. All right, so I'll see you guys in my next video.
As I get a little older, I realize life is perspective, and my perspective may differ from yours. I want to say thank you to everyone that's been down with me. All my fans, all my beautiful fans.